I get this question so much, what's the true range of this bike? I want to go the farthest. Distance is important to me. Let me tell you, this is a headache, okay? It's, these companies, these manufacturers and companies, if you want to know the true range, this is how they calculate it, just so you know. It's the capacity of the battery, the volts, let's say it's 48 volts, times the amperage, let's say it's 10 amps, that gives you 480 watt hours, okay? And then you divide that by 20, it gives you 24 miles. That's quote unquote the distance that your bike's gonna go. All right, that's the calculation. That's a theory. Okay, you read that in your little science book, your mechanics book. You say, well, this is how I calculate based on the battery power. That's not a real world test. Okay, there's all these specs you see out here, all these different main brands. Those aren't real world techs. And then, of course, you go back to the company and say, hey, did you guys do any loaded or unloaded tests with that? Did you actually calculate that? Oh no, it was an unloaded test. We just turned on the bike and it actually wasn't to the ground. Or maybe they did do a loaded test. Oh yeah, the person that we put on there was 90 pounds. Oh, okay. Well, I weigh 150. All right. And it was also on completely flat ground the whole time. So I don't know where you live. Maybe you live in, Tucson, Arizona. If that's the case, great, you'll get a lot of distance. But you may want to be careful. You might overheat the battery after a certain point. Anyways, but there is no such thing as flat ground everywhere. Okay, there's all these sorts of real-world variables. So if you want to calculate the true distance, you actually have to do it the old-fashioned way. And it took a lot of time for me to take the different models of bikes from the main 3 manufacturers overseas and actually get a sense of, if this is the theory they're giving me of the quote-unquote calculation, what is the percentage or the deviation of error? So I've actually figured that out for different manufacturers. Like this one's off 24% for true capacity, this one's that. So I can basically give you more real-world specs. So if you want to know for the bike you're looking at, just give me a call. Thanks.